Hi, this is Dr. Princetta Jones, and today you'll be listening to a recording about patience with educator, life coach, and mentor Cynthia Brown. Today, I'm honored to welcome Cynthia Brown as my guest. Good morning, Cynthia.
Good morning, Dr. Jones, and how are you?
I am great. Thank you for asking, and thanks for joining me today. So before we begin, can you give the listeners some background information about yourself?
As Dr. Jones stated, my name is Cynthia Brown, and I've been in education for 14 plus years. I am currently a special ed teacher for grades K through 2. I enjoy it very much. I am a life coach. I am pursuing my master's degree through the University of Sedona. I have the bachelor's in metaphysical science. I've been a camp director and an after-school director, a mentor, a tutor, and basically for all grades K through really 12. I truly enjoy educating students, uplifting, motivating, communicating, and just being part of their lives and helping them to adjust to any situation that they may have.
Excellent, Cynthia. Thank you for that information. So, my first question is, what are your thoughts about having patience in the classroom, and do you think it's vital when it pertains to having a unique and individualized connection with each student?
Yes, I will say this, Dr. Jones. Patience is so important. Being a teacher with students grades K through 2, and especially with special ed, each and every student that I have are at a different level. So it is my job to make sure that I meet each student where they are. So patience is very much needed in that particular setting because I have, as I said, kindergartners, I have first graders, and I have second graders. And each one of my students, because we're all individuals, would actually need a certain type of patience. I have students where I have to just listen to what they may say. I have students where I have to just monitor what's actually going on with them and be able to decipher how I can meet that particular child and what it is that I can do to help them to be able to connect with me and me to connect with them.
I really like that answer, Cynthia, because a lot of educators believe that there's a cookie cutter or generalized way to teach. But I think that each student should have a unique and individualized experience. This is largely due to the way that we all learn. What works for some might not work for others, and we all know that to be true. Moving on, what advice, if any, can you give to parents in regards to following up with the daily lessons, review, assessments, and their child's overall status? Now, I ask this question because a lot of parents have a preconceived notion that their children should be learning at a specific pace. But they need to understand that milestones are not based on just age and grade level. They are also based on developmental behaviors that are not precise or etched in stone.
It's important for the teacher and parent or guardian to work together. I feel that it's important for the parents to express to the teacher what their expectations are, but also for the teacher to have a good rapport with the parent and or guardian in regards to the child. Since most teachers spend the majority of the time with the student, I think the teacher's input and how they perceive the child is very important. I think that parents and guardians should work closely together so that we all can be on the same page to meet the needs of the student. I always like to, when I meet with a parent, I always like to hear what their expectations are, but I also like to express to the parent that we have to go at the pace of the child. So it's important for me as the educator to meet the student where they are.
I could not agree more with you, Cynthia. A lot of parents are getting it, though. They're understanding that a child has to be met right where they are, and it's no good situation or bad situation. It is what it is. Not only is patience needed there, we are all aware that we're experiencing and living in a global pandemic. It's a lot going on. These are some really challenging times right now. Not only are children going through it, adults are going through it also, with losing work, getting sick. It's a host of things that are going on right now. And the new norm is to try to reinvent yourself. We have to try to figure out a creative way to not only survive on the physical level, but the emotional and spiritual level as well. So how are you staying grounded at this time, Cynthia?
Well, I can honestly say, Dr. Jones, that for myself, I find that taking time out to check in with myself, that would be reading books and listening to audio books as well, that keeps my vibration high. I like to also just do things connecting with nature. I've done a lot of gardening this year. I've always loved plants, but I've connected more with nature. I can honestly say that it's helped me to be able to see things from a better perspective, getting out into the sunshine, breathing in the good air, seeing the birds and butterflies, connecting and knowing that in spite of what's going on around me with this global pandemic, life is still happening, and I still see the good in everything, or I try to see the good in everything. I find out that just not being inundated with news, I try to keep social media out of my direct environment. I know that there are some things that I have to listen to so I can be abreast as to what's going on. But for the most part, I like to listen to soothing music. Sometimes I'm coloring. There are times where I'm just relaxing and just lighting candles or maybe incense, or just doing things out in nature. I've found that I'm walking in my grass, out in my yard, in my bare feet. It helps me to stay grounded and just feeling very positive and uplifted.
Wow, we've covered a lot so far. But there is one area in particular that we did not cover, which in my opinion is vital, and that is having patience with ourselves. For me, this is an area where I am not yet completely free. I'm really hard on myself, and I am not as patient as I would like to be with myself. So can you elaborate a little on that, on the importance of having patience with yourself, Cynthia?
Absolutely, Dr. Jones. I can honestly say that I have found on this journey that I'm on right now that it is important that I'm patient with myself. I notice that things that can happen, sometimes I can get frustrated if maybe I've made a mistake, or if it's something that I forgot to do. I can become very annoyed and be a little full of anxiety because of something that I may not have been able to complete, or maybe it's something that I've forgotten. So I've noticed that when I take the time out and forgive myself and say, hey, you know what? It's not as bad as I may see it, that I'm just going to step back, try to look at it from a different perspective, look at it from a positive perspective, and just not beat myself up about it. I notice when I forgive myself and that I also say, hey, it's not the end of the world. And what I may have just maybe forgot to do, I may retrace my steps and look for the good in that. And whatever, if I did make a mistake, I just take the time out to just look at that and let it be a teachable moment for me and say, hey, okay, so now I know not to do it that way anymore. Or no, now I know this is what I need to do in order for that not to happen, and just forgive myself and just go on and not take that bad feeling into the rest of the day, or let it control me or have that hold on me and to ruin the rest of the day. So just forgiving myself is very important.
Nice. I believe that when we're asking for an advancement or to achieve a certain thing in life, and it's an area where we're struggling, the universe will not do it for us because we're co-creators. We have something to do as well. So the universe will provide an opportunity to choose based on our awareness to achieve that goal. So example, if you're asking for patience, the experiences that you encounter and the situations and circumstances that come your way will allow you to choose patience. You're not just given patience, because if you're just given it, you have not really understood what patience really is if you're not going through the trials and tribulations that it's taken you to achieve that goal of patience. What are your thoughts about this, Cynthia? Do you agree with this?
I most certainly do. I know for myself that I too ask for patience in all things. With as a teacher, I have family, friends, and just with myself, that there are situations that I have noticed that would come about and that I would have to step back and say, hey, am I going to let this overtake me, or am I going to slow walk this and look at it from a positive perspective? And so I do know that, yes, the universe will deliver things or allow things to take place to help to sharpen those skills or to sharpen that patience that you've asked for, because the universe is always going to give us what we ask for. So yes, and the thing about it is that we have to recognize that those come along so that we can sharpen those skills.
This has been another uplifting, enlightening, and empowering experience. I want to thank my guest again, Cynthia Brown. Thank you for your love, your wisdom, your patience, and most importantly, your awareness.
Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Jones. I look forward to speaking